Okay. So in the previous session, we discussed about how to write the locator ID basic XPath, right? So today we are going to discuss about more into XPath. Okay. So generally we have XPath, different XPaths. Like we have relative XPath, absolute XPath, and XPath methods. We have like contains text, starts with, ends with, and we have XPath accesses, all those things. Okay. So we'll discuss one by one how we can use XPath. So generally, we can see some of the examples for each one of them. Let's say here XPath, right? So generally XPath we can use for locating the web elements. Okay. So here can use locating to web elements. Okay. And it is bidirectional. Okay. Means bidirectional means pointing to one web element, we can navigate to other web elements. Either it is up element or down element. Okay. That is the meaning of bidirectional. Okay, it is used to find the dynamic web elements. Okay, it is used to find the dynamic web elements. What is the meaning of dynamic web element means? Let's say if I open any website, so here we can see, right? So let's say test cases is there. So if it is changing frequently, the name text or something, and web element itself changing frequently, that we can say dynamic web element. Such kind of dynamic web elements, here we can say, right, class button success and test case is that data text, we have test cases. Okay, so in these cases, if it is dynamic, how we can do, we can use the XPath accesses. There is a parent, sibling, child, following child, etc. Okay, so we can see one by one. Okay, so first, already we discussed about absolute XPath. So absolute XPath means this XPath we can start from HTML body. Okay, HTML body, HTML tag where it will start, right? So generally, if you go to any web element in any website, if I want to find automation exercise this XPath, I can inspect, right click on it. Here I can right click. You can see copy. From the copy, there is a copy XPath, copy full XPath. If you copy full XPath, it will be the absolute XPath. Now, in the elements, web elements, just you can see Control F and paste it. Here you can see, right, from where it is starting, HTML, body, header, div, etc. So this we can say absolute XPath. Okay, this we can say absolute XPath. So what is the disadvantage of absolute XPath? So disadvantage is that in, so here it is pointing to HTML head, body header, div something. So let's say suppose in between here after container, if they have added any one web element, another web element, does it work? It won't work. Okay, if we have any changes in the DOM, it will break the XPath. Okay, so it is not suggestible to use. Okay, it will start from HTML tag to up to web element, required web element. Okay, and we can use single slash, or we can, it will start with, it will starts with single slash. Okay, And disadvantage is that if we have added any new tag in between, it will fail the XPath. Okay. So if we have added any uh, tags or attributes inside the XPath, it will fail. Okay. Okay. So that is the absolute XPath. Example. This is the example. Okay. Now we have one more XPath, relative XPath. Relative XPath. Okay. So this relative XPath we can write near to the web element. So for example, I want to take automation exercise example itself. I can inspect. So this is pointing this tag, anchor tag, image tag. So my XPath will start from these two locators only, these two tags only. From here, I can write the XPath for this image. Okay. Either I can use this class as well because inside this div there is an anchor tag and there is an image. So this div and anchor tag and image, three all of them is related to this particular image only. So I can use any of these three. Okay. How I can write the relative XPath means. So here, if you guys understand, for writing the XPath, we need attribute and attribute values. So here we have tag, div tag, and div tag have the class and class attribute, and anchor tag we have href, and image tag we have source, alt website, something we have here, right? Either I can use this source image, I can use alt, I can use href, I can use class. Any of these attributes I can use for writing the XPath, relative XPath. How I can write it? So generally, relative XPath, it will starts with double slash. Okay, let's say double slash, and here if I take this one source itself. So what is the tag? Here I can provide the tag name, square brackets, at, then whatever the attribute and attribute value like this. Okay, double slash, tag name, and at whatever the value we have source, attribute and attribute value like this. So this is the relative XPath we can write. Okay. So relative XPath starts with double slash, and we can use tag name and attribute values to find the locators, find the relative XPath. Okay. So we can use like this, and it is suggestible because even though if you add any other tags above, it won't impact until unless you made any change in this side inside this. So if I add tag here, it won't impact my XPath. It will work same. Okay. So that is the reason we can go for relative XPath. Okay. So example, this is the example. Okay. So it is very most important question. How they will ask, what is the difference between what are the XPath we have? What is the difference between absolute and relative XPath? You have to say all these points. Okay. Now, if you are not clear what kind of tag it is, let's say it is image tag. But if you are not sure, then we can go for star. Okay. We'll see one by one how it will use other XPath as well. Okay. So these are the absolute and relative XPath. Okay. So now here, not only source, you can use any of these attributes. Even I can use this as well. Okay. See, it will work same. Okay. So these are the attribute we are using any attribute to form the XPath, relative XPath. Okay. Clear? Now we can see contains text. Contains, there is a method called contains XPath. So either we can use text, either we can use attribute. It depends on the requirement. We can go for contains text. Okay. How we can use? So generally it will be based on attribute text. Okay. Let's see how we can use the contains text in our writing the XPath. So when we can go for this one means if you are not clear with all these tags and exercise etc. So at the time we can go for contains text. Okay. Let's say I will go any. Okay. Let's go for this tag. Let's check whether it is the image. Okay. So I want to write the locator for this h1 tag header. Okay. Automation exercise and h2 is having some text. What I'm going to do? So here I'm going to use contains method. Okay. So here you can see that what kind of tag it is. It is h1 and it is a span tag. Okay. Now how I can write the locator for this one? Uh, Span. Okay. Okay. This one is only have one. Okay. If you have multiple, you can see. Okay. We'll go for this one. Okay. Test cases. Something is there na list here. So here I have a tag called anchor tag. Okay. So in the anchor tag, let's go for test case. Right click. So I have an anchor tag. Inside that there is a attribute called class. And one more tag we have. Okay. Let's say I can go for I itself. And class. So generally the syntax is div contains class. The class value you can say of a list. Now you can see it is pointing. So syntax is that we can provide the tag name and contains what is the attribute we are looking for. So here I can see class is there. I am using class and the class value I can say FA list. And even no need to FA space FA list because contains means even if you give the partial text also it will match relevant XPath. Okay. See here we can see we have two matches. So here and here both have the same text. That is the reason it is pointing both. So if I want to only fetch one now, how I can do that? I want only for test cases. So I can use this anchor tag as a reference anchor tag and anchor tag have href equals to test underscore cases. See, now it is pointing only one. So here we need to understand. So uh, initially I have written this one because I have I tag. Here I have FA list. Okay, in the class attribute. So now I'm getting two locators. So I don't want two locators. I want only specific to test case locator. So then what I have done, okay, I'm taking the reference from here, about tag. Okay, so parent tag, we have anchor tag with href test cases. Okay, that is the reason it is only specific match. Okay, so this is the way we can use the contains method. So here we can use contains text, contains any attribute. It may be class, it may be href, etc. Okay, so this is the one example. So now for the same, I don't want to use FA list. I want to use href tag. Then what I have to do? Simply anchor tag contains href. Here I want to provide test cases, something like this. Okay, so here there are four matches. See, test case list, test case list, test case list, test cases. Okay, so it is why it is matching test case list also, because okay, here we have test cases. Okay, that is the reason we have four matches for this test case with same text. That's why it is matching all of them. Okay, so this is the way we can try to write the contains method. Okay, so now there is a one more method called with text. Okay, text method, text. Okay, so with the text, how we can write the locator? Let's say based on the text message, we can write the locator. Okay, so now mm, here I can see, right? Let's go for products itself. Okay, this is the text. Products is the text. So based on these products, I want to write the XPATH. How I can write that? So it is a anchor I tag. Even I can go for I text equals to, so visible text. See, text products, wherever we have the products with matching text. So here one thing we need to observe, if it is exact match, then only it will return. Okay, so let's say if you try to provide only some, it won't match. If you provide the exact match, then only it will work. So contains, it will match partial text also, but text use, it will only find the exact match. You can see with anchor tag we have products. Okay, this is the text. Okay, if I want to get some other view cart, so I can use this cart message. See, it is pointing to the cart. So this is the way we can use the text method. So generally text method, it should match with entire text. It won't find partial text locators. Okay, here contains text method, it will match all the locators including partial text locators, okay, including partial text. Okay, so that is the difference. Contains means just it will check any just this string is there, it will match. But in this case, if it is exact string, then only it will match. Okay, that is the difference between contains and text. Okay, now we can go for starts with and ends with. Okay, starts with and ends with. Explain. Okay, so what is the meaning of starts with ends with? Means if any text, if any attribute starts with specific uh, starts with ends with specific attribute, as far as specific text, we can match it. Okay, we can match it. We will see with examples. Let's say video tutorials or sign up or sign in. Okay, we'll consider this sign up login. Okay, so in this case, if we have any uh there is no ID. Okay, we can see this one slider. Okay, so this slider have ID. So if ID starts with slider, then it will match. How I can write that one? Okay, let's say div. Here we can use starts with ID. Okay, like this. But starts with ends with we cannot match in the look web here. So you guys can give a try from yourself. So here just I'm using regex kind of thing. So it is there, right? It will match all the web elements wherever we have the slider as a ID. Okay, starts with. In the same manner, ends with also we can use. Okay, you guys can give a try. Okay, and even we can use index based. Index means let's say, okay, now here you can see, right, how many web elements is matching? Four web elements. So I don't want to get all of them, but I want to take based on the index positions. We can use in index positions. Generally, index position it will start from one for Selenium. Okay, see it is matching second index one. If you want first index, you can go first index like this. Okay, index based XPATH. Okay, so we can use to find web element when we have multiple matches. Okay, multiple matches by using index positions. Okay, example like this. Okay, clear?